Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with my review of Karthika Sajeev's Pentias, Master of the Elemental Jewels, which is a children's fantasy story in which 5 kids are going on this long adventure in order to save the king of a nation that they didn't even know existed. And this book has a prequel of sorts. It's called Pentias the True Bond, and I read that as well, and I'm glad I did, because that reading that book sort of gave me an idea about how this group was formed, what the dynamics are, and etc, etc, etc. If you'd like to buy these books after watching my review, then the Amazon links will be in the description box below. I'd recommend that you go ahead, get them and read them for a very summery, breezy adventure of sorts. So without any further ado, let's dive right into this video and let me share with you my review of the book Pentias, Master of the Elemental Jewels by Karthika Sajeev. Okay, let's start off from the very beginning, and book 1, which is Pentias the True Bond, it starts off with Ahan and Arav, two brothers who move to a town in Karnataka called Gandhipuram because of their father's transfer. Their mother is long dead. Ahan and Arav make new friends in their new town, and while exploring the town with their friends one fine day, they come across an old abandoned house in which Arav gets trapped, and now Ahan, along with the help of his friends, has to rescue Arav, his little brother, from the clutches of the ghost that lives there. How they escape from there and what they discover in this process forms the entire story of the first book, The True Bond. The second book, which is Master of the Elemental Jewels, is the book that I will be talking in detail about today, and it is a much more elaborate story with details that you find in The True Bond. You can find their justifications over here. Master of the Elemental Jewels starts off with Ahan celebrating his 15th birthday with a huge party being thrown in his honor. His friends are there, they have been invited, and he's having a lot of fun with his family and with his friends, and his father is about to gift him a box, but then he falls ill and slips into a coma the next day. But before he slips into the coma, he calls his son Ahan to his bedside, and he tells him that they don't belong here. They as a family do not belong in this world, and that he should meet Mother Alesia as soon as possible. Ahan is confused, obviously. He doesn't know what his father is talking about, but when he opens that box that his father had gifted him, he finds everything that could help him on this particular journey. There are a lot of things that he is confused with, but he discovers more and more about them as time goes by, and he understands that these items will help him in his quest to find this Mother Alesia that his father was talking about. So he and Arav, along with their friends Farhan, Dhyan and Harshi, who form the Pentias, that is the whole point. This group of kids is called Pentias. They set out on this journey to find this Mother Alesia. And in this process, they find a lot of things. For example, they find the land of Silandria, they find the 4 clans that make up this world, and they learn about the legend of the lost elemental jewels, which they have to find and lift the curse that condemns the master of the elemental jewels to an untimely death, which is what his Ahan and Arav's father is in that position right now, and they have to do all of this in order to save their father. There are quite a few things that I really liked about this book. First and foremost is the plotline, which I think is very interesting and original. I mean, the concept is a bit similar to that of Marvel's Infinity Stones, which you have to collect together and put it in the gauntlet in order to do the snap and all of that. But then again, the way this one is implemented is pretty fresh, so I really like that. The plot is laid out very neatly. There are no loopholes anywhere, and everything is connected very well. I mean, it flows pretty easily. Farhan's character is the quintessential sharp, sassy, witty teenager that you want to find in all the books that you read these days, but somehow end up missing. But I really loved the way his character was written, and I really loved his dry wit in most places, and I hope that that kid is manifested into existence somewhere, because oh my god, The next thing that I really loved about this book is the clan belief in here and how unrestrictive it is. There are 4 clans in Silandria, and they are of the belief that they can choose to be in any clan. Whichever clan they want, they can choose to be in it, and they can choose to be with a person from any of the 4 clans. There are no restrictions, nothing. Whatever makes you happy is what you need to do. And I love that. And it seems like a metaphorical, allegorical sort of wish for the world to become more peaceful and to stop all the bloodshed. But yeah, it was nice to see that such a place existed, even if it was fantastical. Next is that it is fast-paced and easy to read, despite some complaints that I have about the writing and of the book in general, which I will talk about in the next segment. It teaches the reader a few things about family, about brotherhood, and about friendship, and it is very heartwarming to see teenagers and little children behaving in this manner. For example, Ahan being protective about Arav, and the 2 brothers fighting and then making up, and prioritizing each other, prioritizing their relationship about any quarrels that they might have. The extent to which Ahan will go in order to save and rescue his brother, and being the bigger person, and Ahan being the bigger person because he knows that he is older and he knows better and he can see the world in a better light than Arav can. The friendship between the 5 kids, the Pentias, is very heartwarming to see. It's amazing. The way they will not give up on their friends irrespective of any misunderstandings, irrespective of any arguments that would crop up between them. It's very precious to see. It just warmed my heart to no end. This could be a little deep for a teenager, but maybe laying these foundations will help or will allow our teenagers and children to grow up into empathetic, understanding adults, and that's a huge positive that I will shout from the rooftops for. There are quite a few things that I didn't like and a few complaints, but the first off is something that I have a huge issue with, but I hope that the author will correct it in future editions or in future books. Harshi, who is the only token girl in this group. In this group of 5 people, she's the only girl. And throughout the book, she is relegated to the role of a motherly figure to Arav. I actually strongly disliked this because first, she's a teenager. And second, to slot females and women into just those roles, into just those motherly kind of figures because it comes naturally to women and girls. That's something that I really do not like. I mean, it might not be obvious, it might not be what is the first thing that people see, but once you sit and think about it, it becomes obvious. It is again a role that patriarchy has slotted women and girls into, and that is something that I did not like. I just wish that Harshi had been given more space to grow into. Let me give you a couple of other examples. At one point, the boys are engaged in deep conversation, but Harshi isn't. I'm 100% sure that the author's intention wasn't to do this, but this literally implies that Harshi isn't capable of these deep conversations as the boys are, and that she is sort of better suited to other roles. For example, a mother or cooking or things like that. See, even if us adults don't think about it, children will point it out. They will go like, why wasn't Harshi participating? Didn't she know anything about what the boys were talking about because she is a woman? And it is our responsibility to tell them that Harshi is capable of doing anything, and it's our responsibility to give our children better role models to look up to. Another example is when the Pentias, they go on this journey. They are searching for the jewels, and at this point they are camping, and here's what everybody is doing. Derek, Dhyan, Nyan and Ahan would go collect dry wood to make fire, while Harshi and Stella took care of the cooking. This is again a gender stereotype, which I am strongly against, and I will not say more about it. Next, the writing is a bit childlike. I mean, there are no unnecessary details to push into that have been pushed into the story, but I really feel like the whole book could have done with a bit of polishing and editing for a better reading experience. Basic punctuation is off in a lot of places. As an author, I cannot help but notice this particular detail and bring it to the forefront. But let me give you a small example. For example, when you're writing a dialogue, when you close the quote, the comma is supposed to be inside the quote and not outside it. And this has happened throughout the book. When the villain is plotting something, the author has written it such that the villain has told everything that they are going to do, like they are boasting about it, and it's not even an inner monologue. It is announcing to the world that they will do this. It sort of takes the fun and the mystery out of that particular whatever scene that's going on. I wish that hadn't happened. It would have added a little bit more mystery, a little bit more story to the length of this book. This next point is not about me disliking this particular point, but it's about me being curious, because when Ahan and Arav set out on this journey, Dhyan, Harshi and Farhan also set out on this journey. They go to their parents, ask permission, and within 2 hours they are at the port with their backpacks ready and everything. Like, which parent will give permission for their children to go on this whole adventure, months-long adventure on a ship steered by a 15-year-old going God knows where? Okay, it sounds like this is a fantasy and I shouldn't be asking so many questions about it, but I felt itchy about this particular detail, you know what I mean? The last but not the least is the point that ending was way too abrupt. I feel like the author wrapped it up in a couple of pages. Everything was done in that couple of pages, and I just wish that the author had fleshed it out better and she had put in more details in there. I wouldn't have minded reading a few more pages of this book and to see how gradually and neatly it all tied through. This despite the book having a tiny font, and that's saying something. Despite these shortcomings, I still think that Pentias, A Master of the Elemental Jewels by Karthika Sajeev is a good fantasy story that you can invest your time in and go on an adventure with. And at the end of the book, I really think that the positives of the book far outweigh the negatives, because from where I am sitting, when I look back on my reading experience of the book, I realized that I really enjoyed it a lot. And of course, while keeping in mind the things that are in the book that could have been better. So what I'm trying to say is that this is a book that you can pick up and you can dive into and you can thoroughly enjoy. If you'd like to buy this book after watching my review and after being convinced by my review, then the Amazon links are in the description box below. Please go check it out. So that was my review of Pentias, Master of the Elemental Jewels by Karthika Sajeev. What did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think of the book? Are you going to go ahead and buy this book? And what has been a children's fantasy adventure story that you have read recently, or what was the most recent one that you read? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.